Hello, Christy from KBShimmer here. Today I'm going to be showing you a layered soap. In here in my bucket, I've gone ahead and had my oils and melted butters in here, and I've also added my lye, and I'm just about to start stick blending it. I have not added my fragrance yet, and I'll explain a little bit more about that once I get this blended. Like I do with my swirled soaps, I'm going to stop when I just have the oils and lye emulsified. I am going to pour off some of the uncolored, unscented soap into a cup where I have some titanium dioxide, which is a white colorant. This is actually the color that I'm going to layer on this soap. So I'm just going to stick blend that. I'm going to make sure I get everything mixed. Now the fragrance that I'm going to be using today is a fragrance that is a mover, meaning that it sets up soap quickly, plus it discolors the soap. It's got some vanilla in it, so it makes the soap a medium brown color. So I'm going to go ahead and pour my fragrance in. And I'm going to stick blend that in. Now this one does set up kind of quickly, so once I see that I have everything incorporated, I'm not going to try to bring it to any sort of medium trace or even a light trace. Just going to get it in and get it in the mold. Now I'm going to bring my mold over here. Now this, I'm just really going to pour it in. I'm not going to worry about any special moving it back and forth, just getting everything in. Try to get everything out of my bucket here. Okay. I can set that off to the side. Now with layers, if you don't want any like waves in the soap, if you want a perfectly straight line, I like to take my mold and kind of shake it, tap it a little bit, just to make sure everything is, level. Now this is going to set up pretty quickly on me, which is desirable when you're doing layers. When you're doing layers, if the layer is set up, you're going to have an easier time not having any dips, not having anything kind of go into the soap while you're pouring your next layer, not migrate between layers is what I'm trying to say. The other thing that I do to kind of help prevent that is I'm going to use my spatula and do kind of what I like to call flooding. I am basically going to take my soap and I'm going to pour it slowly over the spatula, very close to the surface, so it has a wide surface area to move off of onto the layer. That is not only going to help it form a nice, even layer, but it's also going to keep it from sinking down into the next one. So I'm just going to put my spatula right here and slowly pour the color over. Now I like to kind of move the spatula back and forth while I'm doing this to kind of get it dispersed throughout the soap. You see how it's kind of just flooding on top of that layer. And you can go back and do a little bit more. Now by keeping this layer uncolored and without scent, that not only allowed me to not have it set up quickly on me, but it also is going to give me that nice crisp white layer. If you wanted to scent every layer, what you could do is take your fragrance and separate your layer colors out, and then one layer at a time add the scent. Pour it in, and level it out, and then move on to the next layer. That's going to allow you to have layers set up in between. Now what I'm doing here is just kind of distributing it through the mold so it's all nice and even. Kind of get everything off of my spatula there. Okay. Now I'm all done with that, and you can give it a little shake, especially if you're doing multiple layers, just to kind of even this layer out again. Now this is my chai tea soap, so to finish it off I just have a little bit of powdered clove, ground cloves here, and I just do a light little sprinkle across it, and that's that. So you can do this basically with any scent. You can do multiple layers. You can do thin layers, let them set up a little bit, then do some swirled soaps or swirled soap in between another layer. It really gives you a lot of options when you're doing layers. The important part is keeping your spatula low, pouring over it slowly so as not to disturb the layer below. Now I do have a couple examples to show you that are complete. Here is a previous batch of the chai tea soap that I've done. You can see how there's a nice straight layer here. This color is actually from the fragrance itself. I didn't add any extra colorant. That's just what it discolors to. So just pour the layer, let it set up, and then pour that on top. Here's another soap that discolors, so no colorant added here. So since it goes so dark naturally, I did a hot pink layer on top. So not adding the scent to this layer allowed me to add color instead of having it all one color. This is another soap that I do with layers. Now this is my Blue Hawaii scent, which does tend to set up pretty quickly. So it is harder to get that perfectly straight layer on there, but again, it is nice to kind of have a defined line between the two colors instead of the swirls. So that is my technique for layering soap. If you have any questions, feel free to post a comment and I'll get back to you. Thanks.